Welcome to the State of the Market for Law Firm Sales in 7 Minutes. My name is Jeremy Poock, and I lead Senior Attorney Match. In today's episode, we'll discuss two of the top 4 quality of life benefits that senior attorneys experience when they join growing law firms. So let's jump right into it. When it comes to joining a growing law firm, the first benefit that our clients experience is that they no longer need to manage the office. When we initially meet with lawyers that have practiced for more than 30 years, and we ask them often, what is it about practicing law that you really dislike? That if we could take a magic wand out and make this aspect of the practice disappear, what would it be? And what it so often is managing the practice. That is having to make payroll, having to pay rent on the first of the month. And let's just look at why this is so disturbing to our senior attorney clients. And the reason why is because our clients, that is attorneys that have practiced more than 30 years, they're typically between ages 55 and 75. They're in what we call the MVP years of their careers. They've achieved 3 primary, what we call achievement awards for senior attorneys. Achievement award in the subject matter knowledge that they've practiced in for many, many years. The goodwill that they've developed in their communities, statewide, sometimes even nationally and even internationally. And that third achievement award, which is client development, because they've practiced in their communities for such a long time in a great way, they are great at bringing in new clients. And now that we are post 2020 and what we call the 3.0 digital era for law firms, there's a new award that senior attorneys should be achieving, which is an award in digital content. But when we think about them running their offices, and just to go back to that initial infographic, what we're calling the then, when they are running their practices, they are not able to achieve that MVP status to the fullest extent that they can. By contrast, when senior attorneys join growing law firms, what a relief it is that they no longer need to be running the office and that they actually have the time to be able to develop new business, to continue developing business, and to do things like connect with clients on LinkedIn, write a blog, even publish a podcast, do videos, and more. When it comes to the second top quality of life benefit that senior attorneys experience after they join growing law firms, that second top quality of life benefit that senior attorneys experience relates to gaining an appreciation that their would-be internal successors are really meant to be key employees. That is, on the then side of this infographic, what we show and what we learn a lot from our clients is that there's a frustration that they really want their key employees, their junior partners, their senior associates to come to them at some point and say, we'd love to take over the practice. But from their standpoint, they really have 4 reasons why they're not interested to take over the senior attorney's practice. And those 4 reasons, what we call the false expectations, are that senior associates and junior partners, those key employees, they really only want a job. They were hired as your employee, and they really want to remain as employees in most circumstances. They also went to law school and not to business school. That is, they never really wanted to run a small business or even a larger business that some law firms present. The third reason is that they really can't afford to purchase your law practice. They've got so many different expenses going on in their lives in their 40s, 50s, and even early 60s that affording to purchase your law practice is just not in the cards. And then the fourth reason why is, for some reason, your junior associates, senior associates, and junior partners, they just think that you're never going to retire. So when it comes to joining a growing law firm, though, what we're often seeing is that growing law firms, they want your key employees as well. That is, those employees that you want to take over your practice, growing law firms, they want and need your key employees. And here are the reasons why. First major reason why is because growth by acquisition has arrived to the legal industry. And when most of us think of growth by acquisition, they're thinking, okay, well, we're purchasing the law practice, we're acquiring and taking over the relationships with clients and referral sources. Of course, that's a huge part of growth by acquisition. But the other key benefits in growth by acquisition include the combined workforce. That is, your key employees, your lawyer staff and your non-lawyer staff present tremendous value to growing law firms, together with their cumulative experience that they bring together with the senior attorneys when they join growing law firms. And just to look at that in a little bit of a different way, growing law firms want and need senior attorneys and their lawyer and non-lawyer staff because of the synergy value that they collectively present. Of course, there's the instant client growth, hugely valuable to growing law firms, but that combined workforce, bringing over lawyers that growing law firms that they don't need to train, that they already know the practice areas, they already know the clients, and if they're litigators, they already know the courts and other contacts within the practice areas where the senior attorney's practice focuses on. And then that cumulative experience that they share, and the cumulative also the marketing value. The senior attorneys bring great marketing value, but so do their longtime key employees, those lawyers who have practiced with senior attorneys for many years. So just to bring this full circle, when it comes to the quality of life benefit when senior attorneys join growing law firms, about appreciating that your key employees, that they are really meant to be key employees, rather than bang your head against the wall year after year and just get a headache from wishing that they want to take over your practice. The realization that your key employees, that they really want to remain key employees and they present a tremendous additional benefit to growing law firms that our senior attorney clients join. So for today's buzzer beater, when it comes to the first two of the top 4 quality of life benefits that senior attorneys experience when they join growing law firms, the first one is no longer needing to manage the office. I mean, even just saying that is like a breath of relief, and we see it in our clients. When you no longer need to write a rent check, make payroll, what a relief. The second major benefit is appreciating, realizing that if your key employee lawyers have not approached you to ask you to take over the practice, they really want to remain key employees. And rather than look at that as a negative, it is such a positive, because growing law firms want and need the senior attorneys and your lawyer and non-lawyer staff as well. When it comes for a preview for our next in 7 minutes will feature the remaining top 4 quality of life benefits that senior attorneys experience when they join growing law firms. And those 2 additional quality of life benefits are that realizing that your clients, that they can work with and benefit by the lawyers at the growing law firms that you join. And we'll talk about the benefits and the important aspects of trust transfer. And that post 2020, the additional quality of life factor that we all experience now is that we can practice, and senior attorneys can practice outside of the office. In addition, that when you're outside of the office and you're no longer managing the office, that you can finally take that 3-week vacation that you've always wanted to take. And that is today's state of the market for law firm sales in a little bit more than 7 minutes.